Payday 3 has massively overhauled the skill system when compared to Payday 2, and at first glance this can be pretty overwhelming. There are so many separate skill nodes and bits of new terminology for us to learn that I think it will take some time to get used to. Within a limited beta, we only have access to a maximum of 7 skill points, meaning it's even harder to experiment with builds. However, even within just this beta version of the game, there are some insane special skills that can completely change the way you play, so here are 10 of the best and most interesting. Before I dive directly into skill number 1, a bit of terminology clarification for you. Most skills in the game now either provide stacks or consume stacks of edge, grit, or rush. These are damage, resistance, and speed multipliers that you can activate to buff your heister in-game, but they also have applications with other skills. For example, with Medic Aced, you'll receive a further 15% damage reduction when reviving, but only if you have Grit activated, and Triage in that same tree can consume the Grit for an additional heal when interacting with a Medic Bag or First Aid. Also, for a quick refresher on how skills work, in order to place regular skills into a build, you'll need to have picked up the first skill in the tree. This first skill can also be aced using one more skill point for an additional effect. Once you've fully unlocked a tree by researching and using it, you can place skill points in any of the tree's ultimate abilities without needing prior investment in that tree. Keep this in mind as I explain how these skills will function in-game. First up, this was a little skill combination we saw in the very first Payday 3 trailer a couple of months ago that had many people wondering what was going on. If you equip the ammo funnel and replenish skills in the mower tree, and have a way to generate edge, such as with Enforcer Aced, you'll be able to immediately pick up ammo on kills, and those rounds will be added directly to your magazine, creating an ammo loop that is definitely best suited for shotgun gameplay. Personally, I can't wait to get my hands on the Moscone again to really see the full potential of this build, but even without it, it's a must try in Payday 3 for Payday 2 Bulletstorm enjoyers. Another interesting loud tool is the Menacing skill. This hostage tree skill grants you the ability to once again shout at guards and SWATs to dominate them and bring them under your control. Sadly, our powers of persuasion have weakened over time, so they won't go on a rampage in your name as Jokers might, but these guys can still be used as resources for hostage trades or to extend the negotiation phase. Remember, having hostages near you can neuter certain enemy types, like the Grenadier, who will only use their non-lethal flashbang option when in the proximity of a potential innocent. This skill is an excellent way to leverage that new adaptive AI without having to drag a civilian around at all times. It's also a great way to gain a supply of SWAT body shields to make use of the next skill, Pinpoller. With this skill in the takedown tree, you can consume grit that's easily earned via CQC Specialist Aced to shove a body shield SWAT at his fellow teammates to instantly trigger a smoke grenade on his belt, creating a massively useful smoke cloud that doubles as a copy of the new and probably best throwable not available yet in this beta. For those of you asking about dodge in Payday 3, this is your best option as you're incredibly difficult to pin down and shoot when within the smoke, making this an excellent escape tool for tight situations. But if you're looking for something a little less gimmicky and a little more overpowered sounding, Last Man Standing in the armor skill tree is absolutely for you. With this skill equipped, assuming you have a stack of grit, upon hitting 0 health and going down, you will instead consume that stack of grit and become completely damage immune for 10 whole seconds, which sounds absolutely wild, given 2 seconds of immunity is so powerful in Payday 2. Bear in mind you will lose access to the grit stat after this, but all you have to do to reset the effect for a further potential 10 seconds is interact with the first aid kit, making those civvy trades even more important. I believe once we can harness a full 21 skill point build of the game, Last Man Standing might be a game changer for overkill difficulty, because based on this gameplay with a good supply of first aid, you never need to worry about going down again. When we finally come to Payday 3's launch, my prediction is that the throwable tree will be heavily underutilized despite how powerful flashbangs and smoke grenades seem to be. Within that playstyle's dedicated tree though, the key to a piglet or frag build is hidden in the overcook skill. This will turn all of your frag grenades into contact explosives, making them a lot more instantly impactful. The overkill weapon, the Markham Mamba, fires explosives that do go off on direct contact with an enemy, but are on an awkward timer when fired normally. With this skill equipped though, it becomes much more like the powerhouse piglet grenade launcher of old. Give it a try if the overkill weapons aren't impressing you as of yet. Moving on to stealth and utility skills, if you want to speed up the lockpicking minigame, give Quick Fingers in the Infiltrator tree a try. When paired with an easy rush gaining skill such as Escapist, you can easily break through doors or chain together instant deposit box openings. But if doing things the more intricate way isn't for you, the battering ram might be worth trying. Similar to Quick Fingers, it requires a stack of rush to activate, but now you can simply sprint your way through locked doors instead of messing around with lockpicks. Unfortunately, it only works on doors that have locks that can be shut off, which don't seem to exist on the standard bank heist, but moving into the full game's release, whilst gimmicky, I do genuinely really like the concept from a role-playing perspective and will try it out. I'd also like to see more skills with this much personality added to the game moving forwards. There are actually quite a few interesting stealth skills in the game already well worth trying out, especially to help save a doomed run. For example, Slippery, the top skill in the Grifter tree, will allow you to actually escape cop cuffs if you get caught out, whilst Glitch Protocol in the Hacker tree allows you to hack guard radios, helping you to control their movements and even keep them distracted whilst you complete objectives, or slip out of sight in the confusion. This one has some insane applications, allowing you to end an escort early or prevent a guard from detaining you at the very last moment. As for dealing with guards once you've decided to take them down, I'm a fan of either running Signal Catch, enabling you to answer radios remotely just via line of sight, which is huge on overkill difficulty given the lead guard's repeating radio, or the Cover Up skill, which will make stealth takedowns far more viable as they will allow you to instantly answer the radio upon doing so, meaning no more standing around with a dead body in your arms. There are plenty of other skill applications I've yet to cover in this video, and I'd say what Payday 3 does better than most RPGs I've played with skill trees is it really rewards dipping into many different trees and styles of play to find cool new synergies and interactions. You can absolutely splash stealthy movement speed skills into a pure Lao build, or you can create a build with an ammo focus that also heavily leans into and utilizes throwables and their stunning effects. Sadly, we can't experience the full extent of this in the closed beta, but even with only 7 skill points I've managed to find enough cohesive options to create semi-functional little playstyles in and of themselves. In any case, those were 10 of the most insane new skill additions that are absolutely worth trying out in the Payday 3 beta. Overall, I think the skills here are incredibly interesting, although they're certainly going to take some time to really test and fathom out. I really like the Edge Grip Rush system, and think the sooner you can get to grips with activating these core buffs, the sooner you'll get into the flow of Payday 3's crazy gameplay loop, and be able to access some of the more powerful skills in the game. My prediction on launch is that Last Man Standing is going to be meta-defining, and absolutely everyone's going to run Escapist to activate any rush-dependent procs at all times. Personally, I plan to spend hours theory crafting these skills into complete builds to try out come launch, just because outside of Payday's narrative, the RPG elements are absolutely my favourite parts of the game, and I don't want to be making any more less than stellar best build videos in the future without having done my research first. That said, I recommend giving some of these more obscure and game-changing skill options a go. I'm told leveling should be working properly soon, so hopefully you can join me at max rank shortly. And finally, for those of you still beta codeless, hold out hope, more codes will be going out over the weekend, so I'm expecting some big numbers in those final days. I'll go back to grinding overkill loud now. Thank you so much for watching, see you all in the next one. A huge thank you to my dedicated Patreon backers. If you want to join this crew in going infamous, check out the link below and pledge as little as $2 to see your name in the credits, or get 24-hour early access to future videos and vote on upcoming content. Take care, I'll see you all soon.